Welcome, my name is Kayla. Thanks for watching. I am a leadership coach and I love to give tips around different leadership topics. So today we're going to be talking about how to survive performance reviews. And I'm going to be talking about it through the lens of the leader. So how do you prepare for the review, how to host the review, and then we'll talk about how to follow up afterwards. So I don't know if you've heard, but I host the group called the Leadership Collaborative. I actually host it on a separate platform called Mighty Networks, which is outside of social media. It's a great way for leaders like yourself, like me, to collaborate on different ideas throughout the month. And then I also give different monthly leadership tips. I provide PDFs and different content through topics so that you can enhance your performance as a leader, but also feel really confident and successful in each of your days. So if this is something that you'd be interested in, if you're a young professional searching, Googling, Pinteresting for new ideas for leadership that feels good to you, it doesn't feel like top down, but feels like growing and working together, then I definitely suggest you check out the link in the description or in my bio, learn more about me from my website and see if it might be a good fit for you. Otherwise, whoop, coffee jumping out of the cup. You can watch more videos on my Instagram here or on my YouTube channel. All right, so on with the content. Coffee first. Okay, preparing for the review. Number 1, ask your direct report to perform a self-evaluation. So when they evaluate themselves on their goals and their behavior, their performance behavior, that gives you a sense of how they think they're doing. It also gives them a chance to reflect and really think about, okay, how would I rate myself on these goals? So you can ask them to write a little paragraph or a couple sentences about their performance, why they think they deserve the rating they got, and then how they would rate themselves. This makes your job so much easier because then you don't have to start from scratch. You can get the information from what they think, see if it's reasonable, if you agree with it, and then add upon that. The second thing you can do to prepare for your review is to look back at your one-on-one notes, emails, kudos you may have saved from your direct reports or for your direct reports, and you can integrate real-life examples into the review. I think that sometimes we've all been there. We got a review where it's very generic, super general. There's nothing specific about us. You know that the leader really didn't take the time to write the review that was specifically for you. I think we all like specific examples. That tells us our leader is paying attention, they're watching, that they care. Try to put one-on-one real life examples into the review, and they could be things from your one-on-one or maybe emails. One tip is to keep a one-on-one notebook with tabs for each of your individuals. That way, whenever you have a meeting, you open to their section, you write the date on the top of the page, and you can take notes, keep track of action items. And I like to write, improving in this area, stuff like that. It keys me into, remembering the growth that the person has had over the year. The next thing you can do is write the review ahead of time and send the review the day before or the morning of the review for the person. So hear me out. First of all, if you're going to do a really specific review, a thorough job, you're going to need time to write the review. I like to set aside 30 minutes to 1 hour of time on my calendar to do this. And I tend to like to write the review like the day before I'm going to give the review. That gives me a really nice deadline or timeline. So 1 or 2 days before the review, I'll time block half an hour to an hour on my schedule to write it. And then when I'm done, I'll wait to the very end of the day prior to the review, or maybe like the morning of the review, and I'll send it via email ahead of time. Why do I do this? Well, I know that people really like to know how they did, and some people want to prepare and mentally prepare, maybe physically prepare, and it's like peace of mind to get the review. Although you don't want them to have it too much ahead of time because you don't want them to simmer on it all day, especially if it was bad, if they underperformed. So make sure that you do give time, but perhaps at the end of the day, so they might see it, read it, and then be able to leave and go home. But for the most part, I work with amazing people. Well, all of my people are amazing. I don't have any negative reviews. And so I just like to send ahead of time so that they can get excited for the conversation. All right, so once that's done, now you actually have to host the review. So first thing is, I like to, at the beginning of the review, share the overall performance in one sentence. So sometimes reviews can be long. If folks have 5 goals, maybe a couple personal goals, you would have to talk through all of those, and then usually they get an overall performance rating. And so it's not till you go through everything that you would actually be like, oh, and you exceeded this year, or and you received an average rating, or below. So I like to just say something like, this year you received a performance rating of exceeds based on your overachievements in goals X, Y, Z, and in your continuous demonstration of mentorship or inspiration to others, something like that. Or something like, this year you've received a performance rating of below as you have not met the achievement milestones for goals X, Y, Z. I'd like to use this conversation to continue to discuss how you can improve your performance to meet expectations. So it's just laying it all out there. It's only data, and we can only learn and get better from it. The second thing you can do is then you would go through and review each goal and each statement. So you might have goal number 1 or A, goal A. You would have maybe what they thought how they evaluated themselves. You can reread that. And then you can read what you have written as your comments. And then you can summarize and give the rating for that goal. I would suggest avoid making this part about you. So you can maybe write sentences like, I've observed several improvements over the last year, or because of your passion and positive attitude, I'm grateful to have you on our team. But shy away from writing stuff about you as the leader. Make sure this is about them. This is their time to shine. This is their goal, their achievements. Next, talk about plans for personal and professional growth over the new year. So something I like to do at the end of the review is talk about, or within each goal, if it's applicable, how you can aid the person in developing themselves this year. So you can think of opportunities that your organization has for growth and development. Maybe send them some links to some websites where they can sign up. If your company, if it's a paid growth seminar, see if your company offers money or stipends for your department to send folks. Another thing you can do is figure out things you can delegate to the person this year. So if they want to learn a new skill, perhaps you give them a little bit of your work or extra work. Maybe you want to teach them a new skill and see if they want to shadow you for a day. You can get really creative with this. And the last thing to do in this section is to review ideas for new goals for next year. Sometimes we don't have our organizational performance goals ready to go when we have the performance conversation. So there's not much you can do, but usually know the direction of the organization. So you can start thinking of what things do we want to continue this year and what things do we want to sunset. And so think about ways you can just start brainstorming. You don't have to have all the answers during the performance conversation. All right, so you had a successful review. People were happy. They didn't cry. Maybe they cried, but you handed them a Kleenex. It's all good. Then after the review, follow up on any action items you set with your people. So do your best to carry the conversation beyond that one meeting. Walk the walk and talk the talk. Schedule follow-up one-on-one meetings with your people if you don't already have them scheduled. So I like to have one-on-ones weekly, bi-weekly, and every other month, depending on which staff member. And so if you figure out what's the proper cadence with your direct report, see how often they want to meet with you to have you to ask questions of. And you can also check out my video on the structure of one-on-ones that I have on YouTube, and actually wrote a blog post about this whole topic. I'll post the link to it in the description and in my bio, and you'll be able to find the structure of hosting a one-on-one video and also my free one-on-one meeting template to figure out what you want those meetings to look like. And then 3, start a new year in your one-on-one notebook with new notes and room for new action items. Nothing feels better than a clean slate and a new notebook. So give yourself a notebook with tabs for each direct report and start the year off super, super productive. Okay, I hope that helps. Like I said, check out the blog post related to this, and I'll have that linked in the description below. Don't forget to check out my Leadership Collaborative if you're wanting more tips. If you're enjoying the tips like this, I go above and beyond in my group, and you'll get additional materials to study and work through things to just improve your performance this year and feel confident and successful every day. All right, guys, give me a like if you've enjoyed this and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. All right, have a great day. Bye.